So another weekend is upon me. First thing I gotta do is try to figure out kind of the plan for my plumbing situation. I woke up in the middle of the night dreaming about this, and something that dawned on me was this is where the water is gonna come up. And I don't want the propane line to interfere with the water lines, so I kind of made a mistake here. I should have actually had the propane line come straight out of the wall here and then turn and come around instead of going in the wall before I made the bend. So I'm wondering now if I can maybe just bend the propane line back out a bit so that the water line has space to come up and through. Now that I'm looking at it though, I realize the propane line is actually pretty close to the plywood here. I mean, it might not be that big of a deal to just have the water line kind of a little farther forward. No, that's probably no good. I probably have to move that line. Alright, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do. That'll probably do it. So now the water line can come through here and easily make it around that propane line. Of course, now this is nowhere close to being where it needs to be. Definitely takes away from the professionalism, but hey, I'm not a professional. So with my cold water assembly being here underneath the cabinetry, it's going to go here. I'll be able to run the cold line up through here, through the wall, around the corner, and then down a little bit to underneath where the sink is going to be. And the hot's going to come out of kind of this area right here, out of the hot water heater, up through the wall, meet up with the cold, and then finish underneath the sink as well. The rest of it is going to have to go that way. So the shower is over here, and also inside the bathroom is going to be a little sink that sits kind of just out of the way over here. So what I'm going to need is for the cold water and the hot water. Probably going to run it under the window here, and then once inside kind of the bathroom area, run up. And then I've got joists running above the shower. And so I'm still trying to figure out where I want the water to actually come out, as far as where the shower head's going to be, and if I'm going to have a single handle, or if I'm going to have some easy knobs or something to turn. I'd like to have just a single handle. It makes it a lot easier for one-hand operation, because the kind of plan is to be able to turn the water on and off, not wasting water all the time. Anyway, so it'll probably tee off somewhere around here, one up to the shower, and the rest of it over to the sink area. That'll be it for plumbing. So I went and spent an outrageous amount of money, and I didn't even get everything, but I did get quite a bit to get started. The tools are what cost the most. This stupid thing's like 120 bucks, this crimping tool. Bunch of elbows, got a bunch of T's, 90-degree fittings, various adapter stuff, of course the crimp rings, and then 200 feet. 100 feet of red, 100 feet of blue, the PEX tubing. Those were only 25 bucks each, so not that bad. And getting less than that wouldn't have been that economical. So time to figure this out. Okay, so I'm going to start with the little loopy manifold thing for the hot water, because it's less complicated and I don't know what I'm doing. Fitting, and then give a little bit. Yeah, that should be good. 4 pieces like that. Well, that got that really fucking dirty quickly. Crap, filthy in here. Alright, let's put them together. Okay, so this, I think, is what I want to create. This is obviously not attached yet. This will sit right here. It'll send 2 lines out in that direction for the kitchen and for the bathroom. And the end where my hand is here is going to have a fitting on it that will allow it to connect to the hot water. Makes sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, so I trimmed these all down a little bit, made them 2.5 inches instead of 3. 3 just seemed like the whole thing would be a little bigger than it needed to be. So, where to start? I guess it doesn't really matter. So these things kind of weird. They don't really open all that far. Put the ring in there. It doesn't stay open on its own either, which is pretty annoying. Kind of just barely gets in there. Make sure it's square, I guess. Put this on, I guess. Slide that in there. Put this about 1/8 of an inch from the end. Guess go for it. Squeeze handles together to complete the crimp. 1 crimp only. Ended up nice and round. Can't really tell from that side. Okay. Then they give you this tool with a go and no-go side, and we're using 1/2 inch for everything. go, no go. Well, it doesn't fit in the no go. So I guess I did it right. So here we go. Yeah, that obviously isn't opening up all the way. Oh shit. Okay, so this thing, you can like pull it backwards and then it opens up more. There. Anyways, so this opens up a lot more than I thought it did. Whoa. Closes pretty violently. Okay, so you can kind of like hold it together. Okay, let's get the rest of this thing together. Yeah, the instructions say right here, pull back on the moving handle to open jaws fully. Ha, there it is. Easy. Okay, so I've changed my mind a little bit about how I'm going to do the cold water. I was going to have it all up here underneath the counter, but since there's going to be a trap door right here, which I was going to use for storage mostly, it'd actually be pretty handy and out of the way if it was all sitting right here. So what I'm going to do is take the a bending thing. The PEX is going to come into the trailer around here, and so I'll bend it right there. So no fittings in the wall, and it'll run, this is actually going to be a piece of plywood probably come down to here, so there would be the shutoff valve for the entire house will be right here, which I was thinking maybe the shutoff valve should be before any fittings, but for a quick shutoff, if there's something else with the rest of the system that needs to be fixed or addressed, it's going to go right there, so pop off the floor, easy access. I've missed something. So from the shutoff valve, it's going to go to a part where it's going to have a T, and the T is going to be an option so that I could add a filtration system to the house. It's not something I'm planning on doing right away, but you never know, it might be a nice thing to have. So that's just going to be 2 lines that are capped off, and so if I do decide to put a filter in, the valve will be able to close off and make it so that all the water goes through the filter. So from there, it's going to go up, it's going to go to the little loopy thing, and from that, it's going to run to the hot water heater, which is just going to be a line that comes this way, and then it will 90 out to, I don't know, somewhere around here, which is where the braided hose will hook from there into the cold water intake on the hot water heater. And to run the kitchen, instead of having a line that goes up into the corner of the house, figured it'd be a lot easier to just have a T happen right here, straight up through this little wall where the storage thing is. This will be insulated, out through the end of the wall, and then in underneath the cabinetry, and I won't have to actually even go to that exterior wall with the kitchen line. I'll just go straight to the sink, which is right there. And then of course the rest of the T will just run along here. And so the rest of that line after it tees off to the kitchen will go to here, a 90 to bring it out to about here, another 90 to go into the wall, and then through the wall out to the bathroom. I just got back from another trip to Home Depot. This came with the hot water heater. It takes a 1/2 inch braided hose on there, and that plugs onto the copper fitting on the water heater itself. And this is 1/2 inch to go into the PEX system. And I want a braided hose to go from there to there. It seems like a simple thing. Apparently, it's not. They don't have them at Home Depot, so I'm gonna have to figure out where to buy one. In the meantime, God, I need to bring a pillow or something. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I want to get that metal painted, let us dry tomorrow, because Jackie's coming to help me tomorrow, and maybe we'll actually reach that step of putting the tube through the trailer. Either way, I'm just gonna drill this out and then clean up and call it a day, because it's already starting to get dark. So initially the plan was to take the plumbing through the walls here from the hot water heater all the way through all of these studs to the bathroom. But looking at it again, and considering that these are outside walls, which means they're susceptible to freezing, it makes more sense to just include the plumbing as part of the fender framing. The fender framing is going to be kind of here just to create a wall around the fender because this is a really cold area and it needs to be walled off like the rest of the house. So why not just make that a little taller and run the lines just on top of the header this way. Not actually putting them in the wall, but having them just above the fender framing, and then having just like a panel over top of them, so you can always access those pipes later on if you really need to. So we're going to cut some rough lengths and see how this is actually going to function. Okay, enough explaining. Let's do this thing.
Okay, this is the fun part.
Yeah, this might actually really suck.
I think it's really weird to measure.
Yeah, I'm thinking just walk to the end of the house, put it on the wall, and then I'll travel as far as I can this way, and that's 16 feet. So I do have a cutter for this.
Which one is it? This thing?
Just took a wild guess and I got it right.
So this is the line that's going to go to the bathroom. And so it will be coming out of this. I still need to mount this to a piece of wood. And then it's going to go down here. And then, you know, probably doesn't need that much work to really get it to do what I want it to do. It's going to go underneath the water heater and just run that way on this side of the wall. So we're just going to, you know, tack it to the wall. A lot simpler than going through the wall, that's for sure. God, this is scary because it's a really long piece and I'm going to crimp it on there. And it took a long time to build that thing and I don't want to fuck it up. I mean, you can get them off. You gotta buy another fucking tool to do it. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got these little plugs to go in, and these are just gonna go on these short pieces here that will go as part of the cold water assembly so that it could later be cut off and put some 90s on there instead and hook up to a water filter for the entire house. Just giving options for later on. Before I actually put this on, I should probably attach everything, huh? Because it's gonna get really fucking annoying.
Makes sense to me, Jimmy.
So I'm not hammering it down all the way, just in case I need to take it off. So this is gonna have an elbow in it to come out and go to the hot water. This goes to the shower. This will go to the kitchen. This is the intake from outside. So I just shoved this long thing through our little foam passageway there. And now I'm gonna try to get a 90-degree on this. Oh, that's really easy, I see. Holy crap, okay. Well, maybe I'll think about this a little harder first. What the f***? This has never been this tight. Tanya's Customs is Come on, head in the game. Yeah.
Do you need help?
I might just need help.
Maybe we can like...
Hold on. I got this. Never mind.
You got it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to just pop in there? Yikes.
Holy shit. Hey, this is why nobody shows you doing this on video.
Just gotta get like the perfect angle to grab it.
Easy. I really don't need this out of the way, but I need to know where it is. You know what I mean? Like it's...
Draw lines, right? And then you just know, don't go above that.
That was the plan. It's a little ugly right now. I'll try to clean this up a bit. Okay, so we had to trim down this foam a little bit. That's in there. Now we're going to stick the intake tube back through it. It's way too long. That's still kind of ghetto, but I don't want it to be like so easily up and down. Yeah. Try it again.
Yeah, you can try it through the bottom.
Let's shit up every time. So yesterday I described how I was going to possibly tee off underneath the bathroom sink and then come back to the shower. But it actually makes more sense to do the tee right here in front of the wall. This is going to be a bit of a raised area for the shower, and I'm just going to make a removable panel in the wall that will go here so that I can access that at any time if I need to for some reason. Either way, all the fittings will still remain on the inside of the walls and always be accessible. We've run it from over there, the cold water in, It's gonna run along the top of the header above the wheel well here. And I'm just gonna put in a couple more 90-degree bends. This stuff is so fun. Wall, it's gonna be right here, so I'd like to get it under beforehand. Oh yeah.
Using the foot action, as you can see there, to try to get it to go in the right direction.
Okay. That wasn't so bad. So, set something like this. We'll go along the floor, and the T will be somewhere around here.